Words here, and I'm still playing around with this thing. I've done a few little things. I'm going to start with the simple thing. I've removed corner cutting. I'm pressing up and to the left right here. Use a numpad to move, actually, and so I'm pressing 7. Not doing anything. I can't do it anymore. Cannot cut corners. And the same goes for the enemy, which now actually moves. Boom. I can't move while it's his turn. He also uses... I improved the pathfinding. I went ahead and I fixed the little... I had a little bug before where I'd screwed up and it wasn't doing the heuristic correctly. So I went ahead and fixed that. So now it does it correctly. The path wasn't perfect before because it was using the wrong number to count out how long it would take to get from one place to another, basically. And so I fixed that. So now the path should be basically as fast as it possibly can be. I might come back with maybe more of a maze to really show this off a little more. I don't know, but there's some other places I need to go with this. At this point, I mean, this is the basics of it, right? I've got the path. I got it to where I can tell him, find a path to this target. I can set the target with the enemy, so I can. It's obviously this is just for testing. In reality, enemies won't run at you and then stand in the same square as you before they do anything. There will have to be some form of threat assessment. It will have to go through and look at the entire room, the entire area, or at least as much as it can see of the area, and then basically look at every point on the map and basically score it based on how many what threats there are and what there is that it might be near or what might be there that might be helpful. And that's something you can't really do until you have threats and goals. So right now this is about as good as it's gonna get. But that's pretty good, really. I mean, that's a lot better than what I've ever done before, frankly. I've never really done pathfinding and gotten it to work. So this is kind of exciting for me. So I'm glad to have this. My little debug line, I can see what it's doing, and it seems to be doing pretty well just around this simple path. I'm serious about kind of go ahead and making a maze, just to see if it slows down at all. In this small of a room, I doubt that it would. Maybe make it bigger. I don't know. We'll see. But from there, I'll just go ahead and just this is about it for this video. I mean, I don't know if I really want to talk about code as much as I had been. It took up the majority of that last video. So and frankly, I'm not sure it was the most entertaining thing, and certainly not necessarily all that informative. It might be almost more informative just to leave the source code lying around somewhere, which I'm not even sure I want to do that either. Not that this is like frickin', the Shakespeare of programming or anything. It's not like I'm, and I don't even know if this is anything I could ever finish or release, but still kind of weirdly wary of the idea of just putting my source code out there for anybody to just sort of look at. Again, I mean, I already basically did that by showing screenshots of it, so I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. It seems kind of silly not to in some ways. In any case, that's about it for this clip, I guess, because there's not really much else to say about this, and there's nothing else I've really done with it. So I'll come back when I've actually got some more stuff done on this game. Words here again. Which I guess probably isn't the start of it. I've got sorry, I've got AP up here. That's like action points kind of thing now, and as you can see when I moved, it took some off. So as I move, they get lower, and now I can't move anymore because I'm out. I don't have enough points to move. Kind of just the basic, the start of the idea of being able to have only so many actions or only so many movements you can make in a turn. The enemy follows the same rules. He can only move so much during his turn now. He paths all the way so what he'll do eventually, and again this is kind of talking about something I haven't done yet, but whatever. But he'll eventually actually pick out a position on the map that is the best position for him to move to. For now, that he just goes to the player, but eventually he'll select, find a path to that position, and then move as much as he can in order to get towards that position. And then, that'll be his turn. So I can, kind of move away from him, He'll try to move towards me again. Over here, he'll try to move towards me. And he'll keep doing that. And he'll eventually catch up with me pretty much no matter what, because pathing. He doesn't have, like, I've tried to watch it pretty carefully, and from what I can tell, it seems to work correctly.
Words here again. And I have an invisible enemy over here. I switched the player to the top left and the enemy to the top bottom right for testing here, because I've got it to where it attempts to check whether or not the enemy is actually visible now. So, and you can see those are the dots obviously represent whether or not, you know, that's where it's looking. Those you know, and those, see, it hits here and then it stops looking. It says, oh, there's a solid object, stop. You're not visible. Whereas if it goes all the way to the player, it says, comes back, and the function that determines this actually comes back and says true if it goes all the way through, and that says, hey, I'm visible. So that's pretty simple, really. There's some maths involved, of course. And as you can see, it sets itself to visible only once it's actually, because it doesn't change like its X and Y position on the grid until it, like the enemy doesn't, until it actually reaches its destination. So it's, yeah, it kind of pops up suddenly behind you like that, but otherwise, you know, it works. I did some really simple math to make that, so I'm pretty sure you can, like, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't be able to see here, you know, like, I don't know if, because the math is so incredible, it's so simple, and in order to, you know, make it quick and everything, and also to make it simple for me to make, so it ends up potentially maybe seeing around some corners. I don't know. I don't know if this may be, you know, it seems like maybe you could see that guy, but eventually, you know, I might go back and actually make that more complex and make it work better if that is necessary. But right now, it seems to be okay, at least for this test. Like, let's, you know, in this case, it would check along the X axis, and then it would get the Y position for, like, where, you know, looking at that X position. So like so it divides the X that it's got by the total. So like this would be 1 over, and the total is, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 over. So it would do 1/4 of, you know, 1 in this case. So, you know, and it would be like, well, in this case we're at 45 degrees, so that's not a very good example, but the idea is that it does, you know, 1/4. So it checks, it says, okay, the X position does 1/4 of this. So in this case it would be 1, so it would be 1, 1, 2/4 of the total. Y, 2, 2, like that, you know, 4, 4, or 3, 3, or whatever the heck it is in this case. 3, 3 actually, and then it creates this nice little line, more or less. It doesn't have any gaps, which is all I really care about. It's not going to look through walls. It might look around corners sometimes, so it's not going to look through any walls, and that's the most important thing as far as I'm concerned. If the but it actually has to determine, like, if that angle, but from here to here, if that angle is if it's acute, then it needs to do it from the X position, but if it's obtuse, it has to do it from the Y, or otherwise that does leave gaps. If I do it from always from the X, and like, I try to make, in this case, for instance, like if I did it from the X, it would check 1, and then like maybe here, so it would check here, and it would skip here, and you'd totally be able to, if there was a wall right here, you'd totally be able to see right through it. So, I have to do it from Y in that case. I don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense to me. It works, too. So that works, and that's pretty much, that's going to be it for the video for this time. I'm going to go ahead and I'm changing the scheduling on this from Wednesdays to Tuesdays and Thursdays. I wanted to get more done, hopefully, and I was thinking about just releasing a video every time I did anything, and like just making a short video. Hey, this is what I did, okay. But then I feel like I'm gonna lose that deadline feeling, where like I'm just like, well, you know, I'm gonna release a video when I get something done, and then, you know, 3 weeks later it's like, okay, I did this one thing. So that's not good. So I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, so until next time, which should be Thursday this time, and I'm gonna be putting this up today, and tomorrow I have lots of time, so I should be able to get more done. We might do some of that stuff. Also, I bought a mic, so I don't know if the quality is any better on the video, on the audio again. I don't have a stand for it yet, so I'm having to hold it, so I can't use it during Let's Plays, just so you know, which is kind of weird. But I need to buy a stand. It came with a little thingy to put it on a stand, but it didn't come with a stand. The guy at Radio Shack said it came with a stand. Liar! I'm going to go ahead and end this video here, and see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!